So from the eye, we turn our attention to the kidney. I guess anytime you hear the word dialysis, you get concerned. Why? It's likely you're wondering how it comes about and if it's preventable. Well, it's surely preventable, but requires quite some deliberate efforts. It's, however, not out of your reach. But how about persons suffering from such diseases and providing a form of support for them in the wake of the harsh economic times and its impact on cost of treatment? Well, you certainly should be interested, because it might not be you needing that help now, but maybe a family member or a friend. We'll be telling you more on that. But first, I'm joined in the studio by Dr. Samuel Agyen, who is a medical officer at the Renal Dialysis Unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and he will give us some education on how to take care of our kidney. Good to see you, Dr. Agyen.
Thank you very much.
And first, I must ask, what really is the cause of kidney diseases?
Well, so kidney diseases can be caused by there are so many causes of kidney diseases. I would break it into two. First of all, we can have an acute kidney injury or acute kidney failure, and then we have the chronic kidney failure or chronic kidney disease. So any condition that is able to cause a reduction in the blood flow to the kidney can cause kidney disease. So if someone has an infection, it can also cause kidney disease. If there is a reduced blood pressure or extremely high blood pressure in an acute state, it can also lead to kidney problems. Aside that, you can have infections. Even malaria can cause acute kidney problems. Aside that, we can also talk about hypertension, diabetes, obesity, smoking, which are the key risk factors that we have that causes the kidney disease in Ghana.
Interesting. Has it? Yes, so definitely it must have something to do with lifestyle, because you talk about obesity, you talk about diabetes, you talk about hypertension, which is related. We'll talk about the correlation between these four and kidney problems, but what has it got to do with lifestyle?
So concerning lifestyle is the driving factor that leads to hypertension, diabetes, as well as obesity. And so if someone is taking a lot of saturated fats, that can lead to hypertension. If we are not exercising, we are also at risk of developing hypertension, diabetes, and obesity. All of these things can affect the blood flow to the kidneys and then would result in a chronic kidney disease. So lifestyle plays a key role. The diet we take, how much water we even drink per day also affects it's our lifestyle, and that can also lead to kidney problems.
That means if you don't take enough water,
yes,
that can affect your kidney.
Yes, if you are not drinking enough water, you are dehydrated. Once you are dehydrated, you don't have enough blood perfusing the kidneys per minute. And during that period, you can develop some form of kidney failure.
But, okay, go ahead.
Yes, and patients or people who are acutely ill, who are vomiting, having diarrhea, they are losing a lot of fluids. So during that phase as well, it can lead to kidney problems.
Has it also got to do with taking drugs?
Exactly. So every drug, I would say, is a poison.
Okay.
However, we have the dosage that you need to take that is therapeutic. And so if you are taking certain medications that are nephrotoxic, that means that when the drug is processed in the body, okay, it has to be excreted out of the body, and it has to pass through the kidneys. So during the process, as it is passing through the kidneys, if it is toxic to the kidneys, it will definitely have a negative toll on the kidney. Herbal medications can do that as well, because we don't know how much of the herbal medication is too much for the kidneys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. I'm more interested with the hypertension, diabetes, obesity, and the other one is what?
The smoking.
Smoking.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to break it down for me, how all of this affects your kidney.
Right. So, first of all, hypertension. Once the blood pressure goes so high, it is able to cause what we call hypertensive nephrosclerosis. So it causes your kidneys to sort of shrink or become smaller. Once the kidneys become smaller, it means that they can't filter the blood.
Okay.
So it means that you are going to have a buildup of the waste products in your body, and that is the background of the kidney disease.
Okay.
Hypertension, or diabetes, sorry, also affects the kidney by causing an inability to filter the blood of the body.
Okay.
And so during that process, diabetes causes an inability of the kidneys, the capsule or the sieve, which is supposed to filter the blood, to be impaired. And in that sense, you would have the kidney problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
then obesity also ties in. So these three actually go hand in hand.
Okay.
Most people who have hypertension also have diabetes. So it tends to affect the body in general in that way.
Okay, and obesity?
And then smoking. So smoking also causes damage to the lining of your vessel, that is your artery, let me say the pipes that the blood flows through to the rest of your body. So if you have damage to the pipes or your arteries or your blood vessels, it means that you are going to have reduction or impaired flow to your vital organs. Yes, and that would also affect the kidney's perfusion and lead to kidney problems.
How do we stay safe, Doc?
Right. So in order to stay safe from kidney problems, first of all, I would advise that we drink adequate amount of water, at least 3 liters of water per day.
Okay.
Also, we should encourage healthy diet, which does not include a lot of fat and too much of the carbohydrates, protein, minerals, raw veggies, fruits, vegetables. Those ones are quite good for us. Aside that, we should also encourage exercise. At least 30 minutes of exercise each day is going to help us, give us good cardiovascular health, help the heart to pump enough blood to the kidneys so that the kidneys will be in good state. Aside that, if you are hypertensive, I would encourage that you take your medications appropriately. You don't take one medication and think that your blood pressure is controlled. You also need to know if your blood pressure is truly controlled with whichever medications you are taking. Exactly. And so monitoring also plays a key role in controlling hypertension.
Well, definitely those who are living with kidney problems certainly need your care and attention. And that's why I'm happy that we've been joined by Executive Director and Founder of Prime Life Kidney Foundation. He's Ebenezer Henaku. He has plans ahead of Val's Day or Chocolate Day, if you like, to show love towards kidney patients. I'm grateful for your time, sir. What do you have for patients of kidney diseases?
Please wait.
All right, we'll try and get Ebenezer back. He is planning to celebrate with patients living with kidney diseases. I want to find out from him his motivation for this, and he'll be telling us the packages he has for these people. But let's come back to you. How does this start? What are the symptoms to show that, okay, so you can actually report at the hospital early stages so something can be done?
All right. So most of the time, kidney disease does not show symptoms in the early phase.
Okay.
Which is why we advocate that we do regular checkups.
Okay.
When you do regular checkups, you are able to determine if your renal function is declined or not. However, as the disease progresses, you tend to develop swelling of the face, swelling of the feet, the hands, sometimes even the abdomen.
Okay.
Most people who have a lot of waste built up in the body would also feel very lethargic or very weak. Okay.
If you say a lot of waste, what do you mean by
waste,
that?
that means that whatever the kidney is supposed to excrete out of the body stays within the blood.
Okay.
So it makes you weak.
Okay.
Aside that, the kidney has a role in helping you to form blood. And so if the kidneys fail, that means that your blood levels also drop. And once your blood level drops, you become very tired, weak as well. Aside that, patients who have kidney problems would also lose a lot of weight. Okay. Yes, and then sometimes they become extremely puffy because the excess amount of water that is supposed to have been excreted out of the body will still remain, and then you have the swelling of the body and all of that. Yeah.
Okay, thankfully Ebenezer has joined us again. Ebenezer Henaku, and he has plans of supporting kidney patients, especially on Val's Day. Ebenezer, thanks for joining us. First, why are you doing this? What's the motivation?
Good morning. Thank you so much for your time, and then thank you for all cherished viewers. In fact, the motivation for me doing this is the fact that I'm doing this to save a life, and then also I'm happy that at least when I do that, I took smiles on people's faces, especially people who are sick from kidney injury and they are going to live again. That is my motivation and has been a motivation.
What's the kidney, the situation? Because we know that care is very costly. When you have kidney diseases and you have to go through all this and then finally go through dialysis, we know it's quite expensive. But what's the situation in Ghana, for instance?
In Ghana, as we talk now, the situation it's unbearable, and then the treatment especially it has become very expensive. People can't pay for treatments, even for medications which they have to take for 2 weeks every time they come on dialysis. People can't afford. So in Ghana, and even proximity as we talk now, it is unbearable now, and it's expensive. Let me put it in that way. It's very expensive in this nation for now. And then, so that is why Prime Life Kidney Foundation has also stepped in the gap to also give its helping hand together with benevolent organizations so that we can as well do this to together. We've been always aiming that the government puts this on the NHIS bill so that at least cost it can be less for most people now. Yes.
Dr. Zakaria is with me here in the studio, and he's been telling me about how lifestyle impacts or lifestyle could be major cause of kidney diseases. You are at the dialysis center. What are some of the stories you can share with us?
Some of the stories I can share with you, for instance, especially among the youth, it is increasing amongst the youth so much, especially amongst the students. For instance, there was a time I spoke, he was in class and all of a sudden, the thing just hit him. So they had to rush him to the hospital. And when they got there, upon further checks and investigations, was found out that he has kidney injury. So one of the things everybody has to know is that nowadays the symptoms come without any prompt. It doesn't prompt you. That is why it is even necessary to do regular checks. So some of the stories we hear are not good to the ears. Let me put it in that way. But then it is among most people who are students and then youth. Yes, so it is among the youth. Let me put it in that way.
What could be accounting for this? Because we are learning this morning that, it has to do with hypertension, diabetes, obesity, smoking, and what have you. But this particular one found in particularly young people and the youth, what could be the reason?
One of the reasons and the sure ways I know, and most of my colleague doctors also know, is the use of aphrodisiacs. Yes, the youth nowadays are always into the use of aphrodisiacs. They want to satisfy that woman in bed, that kind of thing. And most of them are mixing concoctions and other things I don't even know, or I can't even give names for. But then these are some of the stories I hear every day, that most of the youth are into aphrodisiacs, smoking, shisha. You see, so that is why we even want to use this Vows Day or Chocolate Day in perspective as a form to educate the youth. It should have happened this Saturday. The aim was to educate them and create the awareness even before Vows Day, so that if anybody had or has the intention of, excuse me to say, messing up on Vows Day, the person would have had a change of mind. But then unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. So we're having it on Vows Day itself, for 14. So we are still advocating that people would come into the, I mean, into the light that kidney disease is, I mean, increasing. So they have to be cautious of what they do every time.
We'll talk about your plan for Val's Day, but let me ask you this, Dr. Zakaria. What do you think is accounting for a huge number of young people actually having kidney diseases?
Well, so I would say that apart from the aphrodisiacs that he talked about, we also have the issue of compliance. If you are 30, hardly would you check your blood pressure. You wouldn't check your sugar level. Most of the people who are we've diagnosed with end-stage kidney disease come in at the age of 35 to 40.
Okay.
Perhaps they have been told that they have hypertension about 5 years ago,
Okay.
and they wouldn't take their medications as well. They don't know the medications they are taking. They don't also know if their blood pressures are well controlled.
Okay.
So compliance is a huge problem, especially with the youth, because we feel that hypertension is a condition for elderly people.
Yeah.
But now, because of our lifestyle, we are very sedentary. We don't exercise. We sit in our car, we go to work, we come back. And so that is one of the key things. Once a diagnosis is made, compliance too becomes an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so let's come back to you, Dr. Hinako. What's the plan for Val's Day?
Plan for Val's Day is to give them a talk on kidney health and then screen them for free, the community. So our target area is, I mean, the churches, the schools around, and then the entire community. So we're actually going to talk on kidney disease, screen everybody who comes there for free. And then on the fun side too, we would also want to have some jazz and quiz session. As we educate them, we want to have fun in a better way. So we want to have some jazz and quiz session. And so we've been also asking for a sponsorship to add up, chocolates, a little bit of that, so that at least those who would also be involved in some of the fun things that we do will be used as souvenirs. And we are doing this together with Just Up Hospital. And of course, thanks so much for Joy. We are also doing this together with you. And then Wolvin's Place, they are giving us their facility to have this very nice occasion done.
That's quite something good you're doing there, and I'm praying that other people will emulate this example. But let me find out from you regularly, the patients that troop into your unit, how often do they get support? Because you've just mentioned that cost is very costly, and people may definitely need support to do that.
I have to be very honest with you. Support is not forthcoming. It doesn't come. They are not having much support. A few of them who have support is from their families. And that one, it's even not forthcoming, because at a point in time, me and you, we know at a point in time that because it's expensive, their families get tired along the way, and getting money to even continue treatment becomes very difficult. So to be very honest with you, support is not coming from anywhere. That is even why, let me say this again, Prime Life Kidney Foundation wants to get sponsorship. Everybody should come on board. Let's hold hands of our brothers and sisters who are just like me and you, going through this. And if His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo and the Zimbabwe government can put this on the NHIS bill, I'm very glad. So we help them smile again. They are very intelligent people. You can't just see them go like that. Thank you so much. First Guys too, they are also doing a massive work. They've been in much support over the years now. Apart from that, people are doing that themselves. And let me quickly go back that on the fun side of what we are going to do, Kabuki is going to do blues. I mean, she's going to be singing. It's a love day. So as much as we educate them, we want to, on the fun side of it, do some blues, some jazz and all that. Addison is going to be on the sax. Ima is going to be on the keys. It's going to be fun. Everybody must be there.
So where is this? Where's the venue, and who can participate? Is it only people with kidney diseases?
No. Not only people with kidney disease. In fact, people without kidney diseases are needed most. So that you see, we are going to do free screening, which would involve sugar test, blood pressure, body mass index, proteinuria, I mean proteins and glucose in your urine. These are not detailed labs, but then upon further checks, when we do this can give us red flags. So when we do these things and we realize that there are some abnormalities, then in our counseling session, which will also be part, we'll counsel the people and then give them further investigations, and then we actually follow up for better care. Yes, so it is not just for people with kidney diseases. In fact, we need people without kidney diseases. Let me put it in that way so that we can do a better work. Yeah, so this is for the people of Ghana and everyone.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. Ebenezer Henako is the founder and director and at the Prime Life Kidney Foundation. So in the event, Dr. Zakaria, that you are diagnosed with kidney disease, what do you do?
So, well, if you are diagnosed with kidney disease, you would have to be, first of all, evaluated in a hospital before the diagnosis can even be made. Once you are diagnosed, we know the stage at which you are. Depending on the stage, you would have medications that are going to be used to treat that particular cause. If it is hypertension, you would need your blood pressure to be well controlled. If it is diabetes, we give you medications to treat that. However, if you come in at a point where you are already end-stage kidney disease, at that point, we would have to recommend renal replacement therapy, which is dialysis, okay? So that as the kidney cannot excrete or work well, the dialysis machine can help remove the toxins and the excess water from your body.
Okay. I know certainly you will need some support at your unit. What kind of support do you need?
So, well, in terms of support, we need financial support. In terms of getting a lot of machines, dialysis machines, so that if we have patients, we can help the patients by giving them enough number of sessions. Ideally, a patient who is supposed to have dialysis should have it about 3 times per week.
Okay.
Yes, but currently, because of the work, the load, yes, patients are getting twice a week, and most of the time they end up getting complications. Aside that, the patients themselves need a lot of support. One dialysis session can cost more than 400 Ghana cedis, and you're going to do this at least 2 to 3 times per week. So if you look at it in a month's time, you're going to spend quite an amount of money. That is excluding the money you would use for your medications, transportation to the dialysis center, and all of that. So financial support is really needed. And the last thing would be psychological support. Once a patient is diagnosed with kidney disease or chronic kidney disease, it's something that is not going away unless you are doing a kidney transplant. Okay. And even with that, you will still be on medications. So it has a negative toll on the person's psyche. The person's mental health can also be affected in that state, because you would not be able to go to work most of the time
and do things
you would do normally. Exactly. So psychological support is also very, very, very important to the patient.
Wow. But let's talk about the cost of dialysis. I hear it's very expensive. How much expensive?
Well, it depends on the center at which you are. However, it would be around not less than 400 cedis per session.
Okay, so if you have to go 3 times a week,
yes,
you need to go along with 1,200 every week.
Every week,
okay.
Yes.
And for how long can you have it, as long as you have kidney diseases?
So once you are diagnosed with end-stage kidney disease, which is at the point where your kidneys can't do anything for you to survive, that means that you have to do it for the rest of your life.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Or you could do a kidney transplant, which is also far more expensive.
Yep.
Yes. And so 1,200, average of 1,200 per week for a month, for a year, when you calculate, you would know how much money is being pushed into dialysis alone. This doesn't include your medications, reviews, and all of that.
Does that mean that it's not curable, or it depends on the stage at which the disease will be?
So with kidney disease, depending on the stage, if you come in at, let's say, stage 3 of chronic kidney disease, Okay, the aim is to prevent the further decline to
Of
end
the
stage. So when you are stage 3, you don't need dialysis at that point.
Yeah.
Exactly. However, if you get to end stage, you can't cure it unless you are having a kidney transplant, which is going to replace what is already spoiled. Exactly. Yeah.
And how easy is that, the kidney transplant?
Well, we don't have man-made kidneys, I would say.
You would
and
have
so
to get it from someone.
another person. Exactly. And so getting the kidney donor is the first challenge. Then the kidney must also match you.
Okay.
Because your body might also recognize that foreign kidney as, a foreign object and will attack it. Okay, so it has to be a match. Following the surgery or the transplantation too, you need to be on certain medications to continuously help the kidney to be adapted to your body.
Your system.
Yes.
Interesting. But let me ask you this. If somebody has 2 kidneys, right, and one deteriorates, you can actually take off one and for him to live on one, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So at the time that they need a kidney transplant, it's actually when both are not functioning.
Yes, most of the time.
It's not dangerous for someone to live on one kidney?
No, you can actually live on one kidney.
Okay.
Yes, one kidney should be able to help with the filtration and all of that. They are, those who donate their kidneys to their relatives, they live on one kidney, isn't it? Yes.
Okay.
And so you can. However, when both of them fail, that is when you have the problem.
Yes. Dr. Agyen, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
from the dialysis unit, right? From the Kolibut Teaching Hospital. Let's